Hey everyone, it is Jackie Purcell and we are live here this evening with Picture Alaska. And May, hey, it is moving on and we have seen some river breakup action and also some warming temperatures. That's in the forecast as we head into this weekend. And of course, Mother's Day is also this weekend. But we're going to start with our satellite and radar imagery as we head into our Friday, and that is looking pretty good. If you like some clearer conditions, some of that storm action will unfortunately kind of linger over the Aleutians and Panhandle locations. They're going to be one of the wettest spots across the state as we go through the next couple of days. But on Sunday, they also will see some clearing, really some widespread clearing across the region. So I do want to share with you some of the photos that we have seen from our viewers, you guys out there, over the last couple of days. So this was kind of a neat shot. This was Eliza Wesley. She said she was between Bethel and the Anchorage area, and she saw this herring spawn. And so that occurs in the spring and generally in the shallower areas in the intertidal, subtidal zones. Males and females will release milt and eggs into the water column, and then they'll mix and they'll fertilize. And I know that's a big deal when they even want to kind of predict when that will happen. So they do flyovers at times to see where the herring are spawning. Let's get to another kind of cool shot that she got from the plane. You can see a little bit of the plane there, and that's a little cloud cap right over a little small island. And those cloud caps are formed when moist air is pushed to higher altitudes by some rising warm air, and the cooling and then the condensation of that moist air results in the creation of some thin, pretty much vibrant cloud caps. So it's formed solely because there's a mountain there, and the air rises, and that's where that one cloud is formed. So pretty cool. Thank you again, Eliza, for sending that in. Now on the Arctic slope, yes, can you see that's kind of a neat kind of shape to the sun, and we want to thank the folks for sending that in. And then we go to Fairbanks, a bit of a soft glow, the sunrise over the downtown area. Stanley, Alita Ketzler, thank you so much for sending that in. I love that kind of pastel look to the dawning of the day. So even the Fairbanks and interior locations are seeing some warming temperatures as we head into Friday, as well as the weekend. Check out the setting sun around Nikiski Shores. Jacob Dodson, thank you for sending your photo in. In fact, we have a couple of these. We went from that Fairbanks sunrise. Now we're going to a sun as it's setting. And then a little bit later, twilight. And you can see kind of the highlight of that volcano across the inlet, but also the boat making its way, I'm assuming, back to port. But doesn't the sky seem kind of like it's just painted in there at times? Alaska and nature sure is some of the most impressive artists, aren't they? Now we get into the daytime, a blue sky kind of day. This was Westchester Lagoon. Thank you to Lorelei. And the water, so calm, almost makes it look like a mirror. Not quite, just a little bit of a ripple there. But the snowpack on the mountains diminishing every day as the melting continues. It's about still a top third of the Chugach Range out there in the Anchorage area. Still seeing a little bit of snow, but it's going to be fast moving out, or melting off, I should say. And letting off steam, that is, Mount Spur. And this is from Anthony Mazzoli. And we haven't had as much concern for Spur, but we should always be prepared. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. And we have talked about some of those preparations that utilities were making that you can make as a family. But this is some steam being let off of Mount Spur. By the way, with the clear skies, that's when we see this a little more often. When you have cloud cover, you don't even really see it that much. So that is why with clear skies, a lot more people see that. Now we're going to go way to the north, and you can see the sun hanging in the horizon there. It looks like you're on an ice floe. And indeed, this is the land of the midnight sun. This was sent in by Curtis Hobson. He said it's the Hobson 1 crew whaling camp. So it looks like they're staking out their spot along the ocean. So it looks beautiful, fairly calm at this point. And talking about soaking up the sun, don't humans like to do this when it's a nice, warm, kind of sunny day? You turn your face to the sun. Well, apparently, animals like to do that too. So thank you, Martin Marshall, for sending us the picture of your feline friend soaking up the sun. And we did have some convective activity over the last week show up around the Wasilla area, reports of hail. But after the hail, look at that beautiful golden glow. And in fact, if you kind of look off to the left a bit, you can see the outline, a faint one, of a double rainbow. But that's from Robin Swenson. So thank you so much, Robin, for sending that in from Wasilla. And as we continue in Wasilla, you can see a little bit more of that double rainbow from Deborah Crump. Everybody's yard in Wasilla looks very nice and much more green than the ones here in the Anchorage area. It looks like there's a little more leaves on the trees there as well. And in Bethel, also looking at a rainbow, and you can even see that faint outline of a double. Thank you to Donna Lindsay. Hey, and that little trooper in the front, man, she looks really happy. A rainbow, probably because now the sun's coming back out. And again, we want to thank everybody for sending in their photos. Sometimes we do use videos. I didn't happen to this time, but May, as I mentioned, is moving on. And if you want to share your photos with us, you can also go to alaskasnewssource.com, and you go up to the top bar, you go off to the right-hand side, and that's where you would see click photos or submit photos and videos. So that would give you a chance to send in your photos. It's pretty easy. You just download them in, then you kind of give us a good description, and we want to highlight them because you know what? There's no better eyes than to see what's going on across the state of Alaska than the eyes that you have out there in your community. So thanks again for joining us. It's always a great time to share these pictures with you, and I hope you have a great weekend. For the moms out there, have a great Mother's Day.